everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick, the Bishop of the Burn, and with me, as always,
Gator.
And with us, we also have
a special guest.
Yes.
I'm not that special.
Oh, yes, you are. Anybody that knows you thinks that.
Oh, why, thank you. Jodi Resch from the Hill Cigar here in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, we have Jodi, and Jodi is here to talk about another subject that Jeff and I are not super familiar with.
I'm a little bit. I'll go ahead and say it. I've had a pipe.
We're getting into pipe tobacco today.
We are. I've had a pipe off and on pretty much my entire life, but I know nothing about it.
So we figured we would ask the resident pipe expert here at the Hill Cigar Company all about that.
Technically, my title is Pipe Maven here.
Oh.
Or at least that's what's on my business card.
Okay. Well, we have the Pipe Maven.
Yes. I've smoked a pipe for...
You fit in well with the Bishop and Gator then.
That's right.
We have titles.
Yes. Everyone here has a title. Yeah, I've smoked a pipe for over 20 years, about as long as I have cigars. Pretty close to the same amount of time. And
well, heck, you're not old. Would you start at 12? You're not very old.
13. No.
Oh,
no.
There you go. Hey, I was so close.
No, it's 22. So, I've been doing this for a little while.
Okay. Then.
Yeah.
And you also know all things cigars here at the Hill Tobacco Company. So.
Yeah.
It's true. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Hill, when you started here, they had a pipe selection, correct?
We did. We had a small case attached to the counter that had, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 lines in it, but we probably didn't have more than 24 pipes in it at the time. And now we have, actually the pipes have spread out into 2 cases, large stand-up cases.
You have large stand-up cases now.
We do. And the pipe tobacco selection has, well, between the pipes and the pipe tobacco, our sales have increased tenfold and on that line alone.
I could believe it. I know Jess has definitely given you all of the credit for expanding that out, bringing in your knowledge base and everything else to that.
Well, I appreciate the credit that she gives me, but she did it just because passion is the nice word for it. It's my geekery. I just get so excited talking about it. And I think that is really what gets people excited about it too. I just force them to listen to me when I'm talking about tobacco, and they're like, fine, lady, I will buy some of the tobacco and smoke it. And then once they do, they're like, I guess that lady with the mohawk. So
you're basically telling them to put it in their pipe and smoke it.
That's, yeah. Oh, it's dad joke time. It is.
Well, he is 50.
Wow. I am.
Okay. I mean, we're all about right there. We're all right there.
I'm not.
Yeah, he started 38 this year, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I guess you're not. Sorry.
Friday.
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 Yep. Happy
Black
birthday.
Friday. So I get all the deals on my birthday. It's pretty nice.
Okay.
He gets all the DVDs for like a penny or whatever the deals are.
I'll be hitting Best Buy early that morning.
Yeah.
See, all these people with their streaming services, they always are like, oh, I can watch whatever I want. Until you can't.
You know what else? You know what else?
I can, though, because I have the DVD. So
I'm going to tell you right now, I have purchased movies on iTunes, and I've heard that iTunes is actually revoking those purchases.
Well, it's all about licensing.
Yes.
And if they don't have the license
when
anymore.
When you buy a digital copy of something, that's not a forever license.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you don't have a hard DVD of it, now, granted, hopefully you can still buy DVD players in a year or 2 that you can play them on, but as long as you have
Stock
them,
up on those on Black Friday. Just stick 4 of them in the closet.
That's right.
Good idea.
Yep.
Make sure you don't scratch up those DVDs. Throw them around the house.
I know how to clean those. Nick and I used to work at a family video.
Oh.
Not at the same one at the same time.
Not at the same one.
But
Family
we both work
Video.
at Family Video. We know how to restore a DVD.
Family Video, the video company that caters to everyone in the family, including the crazy, creepy uncle that nobody wants to talk to at Thanksgiving.
You never give a tour of that back room.
Yeah.
When we were required to give tours of the store when
when
somebody came in and got a new membership.
You would give them the tour, here's the new release wall, here's the kids section, here's this, here's that. But you always ignore the little saloon doors that lead to that room.
Everybody knows what those saloon doors mean.
And that's exactly it. Everyone knows what those are for.
My grandfather owned a video store before the chains were really big.
Yeah.
And a tiny town called Sandoval, Illinois, the video place.
I know Sandoval.
Yes, you do. But It's so funny. If my grandmother was working up there, she would not rent the movies that came from.
Oh, like she'd refuse?
Yes.
That's
she had her standards. She had her standards. But you know what's funny is I did not. I was 16 and I'd be like, you know what? I don't actually see the covers of these because he would have little tags for them. It was just a few extra dollars that he made because he, had a monopoly on renting those out in town. So
Times have changed.
they have.
Nick got arrested once.
Ticketed.
Ticketed?
It was
Not
a
arrested.
ticket is an arrest. Let's just be honest.
So
I can't wait to hear this.
Belleville at the time had an ordinance that it was illegal to distribute pornography. Family Video had 2 locations within Belleville, and so what would happen is some of the Belleville cops would come into the store undercover, rent the video, come right back in and ticket the clerk who rented it to them. And then what would happen is we would turn the ticket over to the corporate. Corporate would have the name changed on the ticket in court to throw it underneath their umbrella, and we'd never have to worry about it again. That's what happened to me.
But somewhere...
Smut peddler.
Exactly. Somewhere there is a record of that.
Of me renting out Booty Duty 6 to an undercover officer in Belleville. I'll never forget the name of that movie.
I don't know how you could. That's a classic.
I mean...
I'm not going to lie.
It wasn't as good as 4, but, they had to keep going with the series. So...
I'm not going to lie. I have tried to buy that DVD online just so I could give it to him as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie's got to be 20 years
old
by now.
I found a copy of it, but it was like $80 or something stupid. So I don't like it that much.
It's just not worth. The joke is not worth that.
For a gag gift, it definitely not.
No,
that's awesome.
So let's talk pipes for a minute. So I actually just purchased a basket pipe, which is probably the lower end of the pipes that you have. What I didn't tell you when I purchased that is the pipe that I currently have. Actually, the what is this part of the pipe called?
That's the bowl?
Yes. So the shaft on the bowl has cracked on my pipe, so I needed a new pipe.
Yes,
so this was a perfect timing for me to get this. So do you want to walk me through, and then as we start smoking, we can talk about the blends that you and I are smoking. Nick, on the other hand, wussed out.
I did.
He did.
But through the expert advice of the folks at the Hill Cigar Company, I found a CAO cigar that is made by pipe tobacco, correct?
Yes, it has a pipe tobacco flavor.
So, folks, you're going to all make fun of me, but I'm smoking the CAO Flavors Cherry Bomb. This is the Corona size. This is a 5 1/4 by 42 with a Cameroon wrapper, a Connecticut broadleaf binder, and Dominican filler.
There you go. So
I felt fruity tonight.
There you go. So, Jodi, explain to me here. What do I need to do? I've already got a little tobacco in the bowl. So how do I pack it? What do I do? How do I do it right?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question. Everybody kind of has their favorite way of packing their bowl. So, for me,
yes,
I was taught the old school method, the 3-layer pack. You pack the least amount on the bottom. You want to make sure that it is the least amount in that first layer, that you're going to have a layer to breathe.
Okay.
And you pack all the way around.
Okay.
I just take a big pinch of it, shove it in there with my thumb, but my hands are small.
Doing that now?
Yeah.
I don't think, my thumb will fit. Okay.
So it should be kind of firm but springy all the way around. Second layer, you just grab another big pinch.
Okay.
And it should be a little more solid.
Okay.
Same concept. And then that last one, you just want to kind of fill up the top, but leave a little room at the top of the bowl, because when you light it, it's going to spring up.
Okay. No one has ever explained this to me.
And, packing the bowl is the most important part of smoking a pipe.
Okay.
A lot of people think it's just the whole thing of relighting a pipe and messing with it. Really, if you get it packed right, and that's just a matter of practice. But once you get it packed correctly, you really don't have to relight it nearly as often. You don't have to tamp it as often. But again, it's just one of those things that it becomes muscle memory.
So how does this look so far?
It's not a matter of how it looks. It looks great, honestly. But go ahead and give it a dry draw. Just puff on your pipe without it lit. It should feel like you're trying to puff on a cigar, honestly. Like, there should be some resistance to it.
A little resistance, yeah.
Yeah,
Got
but
that.
not too much.
Got that.
All right. So go ahead and light it. Use matches or a soft flame, but don't use a hard flame.
Don't use this.
No, do not use a torch because that's...
No torch. He can't use a torch anyway because his torch doesn't work.
Not all
right.
the time. There we go. Okay.
Here, I'm going to show you.
Oh.
So my soft flame's got a trick to it. You push up on this, and then like that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Safety.
So just puff away?
Jeff
Yes.
needs safety.
Puff on it. So your
Adult supervision does mean adult supervision.
Yeah, but you invited me anyway. Yeah, and you're really just charring the top of that bowl. This is called the false light.
Okay,
Meanwhile,
so like
I'm
that?
lighting up my cherry
Yep,
bomb.
just light the whole top of it, and when it's glowing, yep, you're good. Now, it's technically not fully lit. Go ahead and tamp the top of it down.
Okay. What is this little apparatus?
That's a tamper
There you
right
go.
there. It looks like a stick with a flat bottom on it. And there's all kinds of different styles, but they all serve the same purpose.
Okay. So like
Go ahead and
that?
puff on it while you're doing it too, so it doesn't go completely out. All right, now give it another light,
Okay.
because this is what is really connecting that charred tobacco with the fuel. You got it? Push up on that piece.
Jeff's having problems with the lighter.
I
here.
know. My lighter it takes a little practice. I just filled it too. There we go. Don't set yourself
you.
on fire.
Oh, no, Nick does that here enough for the both of us.
Says the guy who did it last episode.
It's okay. I've set myself on fire plenty of
I
times.
tried to
at
use
work.
a cedar spill.
And the little chunks of cedar just splintered off and just gently fell right into his lap.
A half a dozen of them. There was a crisis panic moment.
It was pretty funny.
It looks like your whole bowl is lit now, so give it a few good puffs. Tamp it down a little bit just to make sure nothing falls out of it.
I've never done
Okay, you're
the
good.
tamping after lit. I've never done that before.
You're good. It's just a weird habit of mine. All right, that's it.
Boy, that's good tobacco. So, explain and you have a different blend than I have, but explain the blend that I have, let's start with, which is, I believe, the house blend. You call it the Dawn, is that correct?
Yeah, and really it's just it's a really popular blend that a lot of people ask for. It was originally blended by a regular whose name is Don. So
That makes sense.
it sounds
By God.
sounds a lot more ominous than it really is.
I figured it was something to do with the mafia here on the hill.
I know, everybody does too. So the Don has a lot of vanilla and honey notes with a background of black Cavendish. So it's pretty sweet, but it's got a little extra body from that black Cavendish.
Nick's
So-
going to make fun of me here, but I taste the Black Cavendish. I've smoked enough tobacco. I do a lot of Wilshire, blends like that. So, boy, it's got a good flavor.
Yeah. It's
Now-
just nice and smooth. Yeah.
Now, you guys had a little issue with blending this, if I'm not mistaken, recently. So, can you explain that to us?
Yeah, it's fairly recent that we've been able to blend tobacco again. So the FDA a while back made the decision that that shops couldn't make their own personal blends, and it was and if we did something as simple as just dump two different styles of tobacco in the same bag, that was against the rules.
They considered you a manufacturer.
They
at that
did,
point.
yeah. And so it was confusing for our customers, and then especially to change back. So
Well, there for a while, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you would sell two bags, and then they would have to blend it themselves.
that's
Yeah.
that's exactly right. So
Nick
we were
is-
pretty
Nick is
happy when
always-
that changed.
Nick is always shocked when I do show prep.
I am. Because normally he just comes in and shows his ass to the world and we move on. So this is
So
interesting.
what are the two tobaccos that are blended in this?
It is a tobacco by Lane that's called 1Q, and then Black Cavendish BCA, so Black Cavendish American.
Boy, it smells good. Do you smell it?
Yeah.
Well, it does smell good.
Yeah. That's the one thing. People kind of will sometimes get turned off by a cigar smoke because it can be a little overbearing. The same people will love a cigar or a pipe tobacco smoke.
Unless it's something that I'm smoking, because I smoke really pretty traditional Orientals most of the time, or sometimes I'll smoke a Virginia flake. The Virginias people don't mind as much, but the really heavy Orientals with a lot of Latakia, people kind of look at me like I set their dog on fire because it's really smoky.
frown on that.
It's peaty, and and I've been smoking that stuff pretty much since the beginning too. I really have not enjoyed the aromatic stuff, and part of it is because I tend to smoke my pipe a little bit hot. I'm a really slow cigar smoker, and I'm a really fast pipe smoker, which is exactly not what you should do at all. You should always take your time with both of those, but and I just cannot seem to break the habit, no matter how. And I pack pipes for other people all the time. It's not a matter of how I'm packing my pipe.
Yeah.
I just get so excited, and I kind of get carried away when I'm smoking my pipe, I guess.
So what are you smoking today, then?
So I'm smoking a really old McClelland blend. So McClelland, I'm so sad to say, is out of business. They retired, the McClellans, the folks. So it's not like they passed away, but I'm happy that they retired. I'm not happy that these blends are no longer being made. This is Bombay Court. It's something that I've been smoking for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, maybe longer. And this tin is from 2009.
Wow.
So I
that is
am
a 10-year-old tin right there.
I'm one of those geeks that cellars my tobacco too. So, and the purpose of cellaring tobacco is that it changes the consistency of it. It ages it in a way that it allows the sugars to age in it, just like you would age your cigars, but there's just a different way of doing it. Like once the air hits the tobaccos inside the tin, it really doesn't age after that. So you either have to leave it sealed or you have to put it in a glass jar.
Interesting. Well, it was funny because when I first got the pipe, I said, "Oh, can I borrow some tobacco?" And she clutched it to her chest like it was her firstborn. And now I understand why, because it's a 10-year-old tin of tobacco.
Yeah. Also,
and she recommended the Don, and I'm loving it.
If you want to smell it, it also smells considerably different. You may like it.
It does.
But a little bit different flavor profile.
And you have a Boveda pack in there with it.
That is a little different.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the kind of.
It's not sweet.
I'm not getting the sweetness. I was going to say I could smell the sweetness off of Jeff's.
Yeah, this has got a lot of aromatics to it. You're right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a term or a type of tobacco that the Orientals have that I didn't understand. It started with an L.
It's Latakia.
What exactly is that?
It comes from two different places.
Opioids, is that what it is?
I wish. Unfortunately, it comes from Cyprus or Turkey. I guess there is some from Turkey. So Syrian was the big place that it came from, though. The best Latakia was considered to come from Syria, but since they've been torn apart by civil war for the last decade, there's been no Latakia, no tobacco products coming out of that country at all.
Yeah.
So it's really all come from Cyprus. It has a little bit more of a bite to it. It's not nearly as smooth. It burns a little bit hotter. It's got more of a pepper finish to it.
Is that the seed they're using?
It's the soil.
The soil, okay.
It's just the growing conditions. It's like any other tobacco. I mean, every single cigar in our humidor has all come from Cuban seed. Every single leaf of it. And they've all been smuggled out of Cuba. It's just these different growing regions. While they've all tried, every company has tried to replicate the same microclimate as Cuba, you're never going to get it exactly. And it's those different circumstances that lead to these different flavor profiles, whether it's the soil or the aging process. And it's going to be the exact same when it comes to pipe tobacco. You're going to get those subtle differences with these different areas. So so even though it's the same style, cured the same way, the same traditional ways, you're going to get those differences when it comes to Latakia. The only tobacco I can think of that you're not going to get any difference is Perique, because the only place it comes from is St. James Parish in Louisiana.
Okay.
That is it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's funny you say that about the Cuban tobaccos because, I've heard stories that before and during, I guess, the Revolution, that people were smuggling them out in their clothes. They would sew them into the seams of their clothes and whatnot just to get the seeds out of the country and basically save those varieties and those brands.
Yes.
And, it's not something, I would necessarily think about that, just growing it in Florida as opposed to Cuba would make that much of a difference, but it does.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, first of all, tobacco seed is about the same size as, like the period on your keyboard. It's it's microscopic. Oh, not quite microscopic, but it's very tiny. But I mean, if
like lettuce or kale or any other seed like that, it's a smaller seed.
It's very small. You know, but getting enough of those to grow a substantial crop, it really doesn't take much. But you know, you can't bring agricultural products into our country or most others.
Yeah.
You know, and getting out with that is really dangerous.
I guess they really keep a tight rein on that.
Yeah, they really do. You know, but I mean, people, that's their livelihood. I mean, some people, that's all they've done for generations. So, you know, what else are you going to do? You're just suddenly going to learn how to be a carpenter?
Yeah.
Like, but, well, that's what Padron did.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's one, and Nick knows this, but that's one of my bucket list things. And I don't have a lot of bucket list things. I've done a lot of stuff in my life that I've enjoyed and been proud of, but there are not a lot of things that, like, I want to get done in life. Traveling to Cuba is one of those. I would love to go take a trip. Have you been down there?
I haven't been down there. I mean, there are a lot of different things I'd like to see. The architecture is one thing that I would really like to see. Not just the tobacco, but I mean, it's just this snapshot in time. I feel like that we're probably never going to get to see again. You know, the cars, but I don't know. It's constantly in flux as far as whether Americans are going to be allowed to travel there or come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know, there aren't a lot of places I'm afraid to go. It's just the fact that, am I going to be allowed to come home?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing that I find concerning about it.
Well, and the rules were relaxed for a very short period of time.
They were.
And then we had the basically the attack or whatever happened at the embassy there, and those rules have been, pulled back again. Now, one of the things that Nick and I know, because we've been journalists over the years, there is an exception in the rule. So if we were to travel to Cuba, we legally, prior to the changes that were made recently, we were able to bring back cigars from Cuba just like politicians. Because when the politicians wrote the laws back in, the 60s, they basically said, the only people that are going to give us any grief about this if we give ourselves an exemption are the reporters. So they made an exemption for journalists.
How convenient.
And I've showed that law to Nick.
No, it's true.
Yeah. And no one ever believes me when I say it. It's written into the law exactly that way.
Well, that works out really well, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Why we got into newspapers.
Well, not exclusively, but
No,
It was for me.
Doesn't hurt.
Oh, well. 10 years later, he still hasn't gone to Cuba.
No, I'm still 10 years.
Well, 10 years of owning your own.
Yeah, true. I was going to say I've been doing
A
this
lot longer than 10 years in
I've
the
been
industry.
doing this since 87, 88. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, right?
I was like 5 when you got into it.
God, I hate you.
I gotta take those jabs when I can.
I see that.
So, Jodi, what are the top tobaccos that you sell? What do you recommend here the most that you have, in addition to the Don, which, by the way, is very flavorful?
Well, I'm glad you like it. It kind of depends on what flavor profile you're looking for. We sell a lot of vanilla black Cavendish. It seems to be kind of a new favorite as far as the sweeter loose tobaccos go. And as far as the non-aromatic stuff, Briar Fox from Cornell and Deal. It has a lot of burley, and Virginia's, it has a lot of nicotine. It is a pretty heady smoke. It's really good. It's smooth, and I think that's another reason it can kind of sneak up on you.
Yeah.
And the difference is as far as tin tobaccos and loose tobaccos. People ask me this a lot, like, why would I pay this kind of money for a tin? Just 2 ounces of it is $15 or maybe a lot more than that versus $7 of loose tobacco. Some of the tins are going to be rare tobaccos. They're going to be made in much smaller batches. Maybe you're just not going to find it again. So, and then there's also the convenience factor. So,
I had to relight, and I was borrowing a lighter from Jodi as she was talking there.
So, tin tobaccos, you're also going to find a really different variety of them, too. So, small batch makers that just are not going to make 5 pounds of tobacco at a time. So that's the other thing. I mean, some people, they just don't make large batches of stuff. So that's another reason that the loose tobacco may be much less expensive than a tin. So you just, it's the variety, and it's just, and it may be a much more labor intensive or time intensive blend. There may be a lot of aging that's involved in it.
Why would someone get into cigars, or get into pipes or cigars? Like, what do you have people that cross over, or do you have people that are solely into one or the other?
There's both. There's definitely both. I know for me, I definitely smoke both, and I have for a long time. Some people, they get into pipes or cigars really to stop smoking cigarettes, and then they just stick with whatever they started. Or some people, like especially this time of year, I'll have people come in and they want to try a pipe for the first time. There's just something about this cooler weather that really makes people think about pipes, and I'm not sure what that sense of nostalgia is. I know for me, I had a lot of relatives that smoked pipes in the house, and I saw them maybe during the holidays more than others. So that, I certainly associate the winter holidays with pipe smoking. And I think that I'm not necessarily the only one.
I'm in the same boat with my grandfather because he smoked cigars and smoked pipes. And there are different times when I get a whiff of whatever the tobacco is, pipe or, a cigar. It kind of takes me back to being at Grandma and Grandpa's house when I was a kid. So it's there's a little bit of that, with the smells and, that take you back in time.
I absolutely agree. And I know that for most people, the cigars were not really welcome in the house. But the pipes, maybe Grandma didn't mind the pipe every once in a while. So.
Pipe smoke, though, is, like I said earlier, is not... It doesn't offend people the way a cigar smoke will.
It definitely doesn't. No, and it's definitely dependent upon the blend, but most of them, and they aren't nearly as clingy as cigarettes or cigars, for that matter. I don't know. I don't feel like it hangs out in my clothes the same way, and it certainly doesn't smell as bad. And I say this as somebody who smokes a lot of cigars. I know what my laundry smells like.
I was going to say, in all fairness, like, cigar smoke.
You work in a cigar shop.
I do work in a cigar shop, and I love it. But that doesn't mean I love what my laundry smells like.
Yeah.
It's
one of those things. Cigar smoke smells all right when it first is coming out and everything, but go back to your clothes the next day, and it's stale.
By the time I get around to my laundry, I'm not excited about it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Nick and I have had dinner. And I've had a cigar on the way there, and I get there, and he said, "You smell like a chimney." And I'm thinking, dude, you smoke as many cigars as I do, but if he hasn't had one, you'll notice it a lot more.
Yeah.
That's right. If you're not sharing that experience, it's not nearly as great.
Exactly.
So I'm over here with my cherry bomb.
Yeah, we haven't heard any reviews on the cherry bomb just yet.
It's a thing.
You're not used to the pipe tobaccos.
It's sweet. I mean,
that's true. It's not going to taste just like pipe tobacco because it has sugar on the tip of the cigar as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Larry didn't tell me that.
Larry did not disclose that.
He didn't tell me that.
No.
I mean, I probably realized that the first time I actually put it to mouth, but yeah. But it's sweet. I'll say this, the ash, I've been ashing a lot because I've been kind of worried that it's going to fall off because it's kind of a gentle ash,
it's fragile.
It is fragile, and so.
See, I would think you would be in though because you like the the acids and you like the what's the one you always recommend, the Tobacco Special,
and the Fat Bottom Betty.
Yeah, and those are all sweet.
It's not bad. See, I'll say, the Fat Bottom Betty has like a maybe a complexity to it that maybe the Cherry Bomb is not giving me.
The Cherry Bomb is very straightforward flavor-wise.
It is.
Yeah.
Cherry, vanilla, kind of.
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
Which a lot of people do like in their pipe tobaccos.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad smoke. I'm getting, I guess, at the risk of offending, maybe CAO, CAO.
Yeah, CAO.
At the risk of offending CAO, it kind of seems like one of those ones that you'd buy at the gas station that maybe is a little flavored up. I don't know if it would. I don't mean to like diminish it that much, but it just kind of strikes me.
It is something. A mix of short filler and long filler.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not going to be quite the same construction as say the Deadwood or acid, and it's not going to burn as long. And that's also why the ash isn't quite as strong. That's why it keeps, crumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's probably also why it's not nearly as complex either, because you don't have a full leaf to burn down it. So,
but it's not bad.
So,
I mean, it's not.
I'm sorry that it's not quite as.
Well, it's not. Well, I mean,
well, somebody wouldn't get a pipe and try it.
That is true. No, you didn't want to be a joiner.
No.
It's
the pipe pulpit today.
It is.
Yet you're smoking a cigar.
Well, I had to bring in the cigar portion of it.
There you go.
Did you?
We're bringing.
That's the question. Did you?
I'm bridging here.
I love the fact that Jodi's ripping on you.
Oh, I'm used to the guests ripping on me with you.
So, okay, I'm loving the Don. You've got your tobacco there, and we talked about the other tobaccos. Tell us about kind of the lines of pipes that you have here, because it's quite the selection inside, and also with the tamper and with you've got a lot of different products that you sell along with this.
Yeah, so probably our biggest line right now is Savinelli, and a portion of that's going to be Rossi. Just long-standing Italian pipe makers, I should say. Rossi is just a less expensive line that Savinelli makes. It's the same brand, it is the same quality of briar as the Savinelli line, just slightly less expensive stems. So if you're looking for a really nice value pipe and you just want something that's a nice basic black stem, you can get into a Savinelli pipe, and sometimes even the same Savinelli styles, but it just has the Rossi name on it. We have Peterson, oldest pipe maker in Ireland. Vauen, which is a very solid German brand of pipe that take filters. And I've got, and probably have the least expensive line that Vauen has, but I really like their pipes. I've got a few Briar Works, which is out of Nashville, Tennessee. Also Scott's Pipes, they're out of Nashville as well. That's a husband and wife team. The husband carves them, the wife stains them. So it's a very small operation. And then I think that's it for now. And of course Missouri Meerschaum. You can't have a pipe shop without having corncob pipes, especially here in Missouri.
Yeah.
But honestly,
it's from the Button Nose collection.
Well, you can say that. No, corncob pipe and button nose is a blend of tobacco that comes out at Christmas time from Cornell and Deal.
I just hit my microphone as well.
Did.
Sorry.
No, but you can laugh all you want about corncob pipes, but they are great for brand new smokers, for also trying new tobaccos. If you don't want to run the risk of a tobacco ghosting, which means just leaving a flavor casing in your briar, try it out, make a $10 corncob, and then you don't have to run that risk. And if you feel like it's going to mix well with something else that you're already smoking, then you're like, oh, well, this is my pipe for Englishes. I'm going to use this now. You can devote that pipe to that one tobacco. Some people are very particular about their pipes. They smoke. Like, I have a friend, I have this pipe, I smoke Dunhill Navy rolls in it. And that is it. I am not that person. I'm not that picky.
But some are.
Some are.
Yeah.
Some people are.
Now,
they have that kind of standard.
There was an interesting question that came up inside, and I'm going to apologize to you because I actually directed this young man to a different cigar shop.
Okay.
But he's...
What the hell?
That's okay.
Yuli's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuli's.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually from...
oh, well, okay.
Wisconsin.
So it's not like you're sending him
he was
to
here
the other
buying
side of
tobacco,
town.
but he was talking about how he's found this antique shop that has all these pipes for sale, these old antique pipes for like $8 a piece. And he goes, can you restore those? So, I was talking about Yuli's because when I was up at Yuli's and did the tour there, and we talked about them on the podcast, I called them Yules, out of ignorance, but it's actually Yuli's. And they have an entire setup in their basement where they buy pipes from antique stores, auctions, estate sales, and restore them and resell those pipes. So, I kind of hooked him up with that he could go there and get his pipe restored. And I don't know, are there any services like that here or in the St. Louis area that you know of?
I have the names of a few people. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. And I know that There's a guy in Carbondale, Illinois. He owns Yesteryear Tobacconist. I know that...
We know that gentleman.
Yeah, Bruce Persbacher.
Yep.
I know that he used to, but I haven't talked to Bruce in quite a while. But he used to have a ton of amazing estate pipes there and just did...
It was a rather loud truck that just went by.
Yeah, right. But he did absolutely beautiful work. And I've got some estate pipes that he restored. Actually, some of the first pipes that I bought were estate pipes from him. And just gorgeous. Like, I've got some Dunhills that he restored, and just, they're still in great shape. But
I've bought
only
cigars
because
there. Actually, the pipe that I have, that I told you that I'd eventually, and it's a very old pipe, but I had cracked the stem on.
Yeah.
That actually came from Yesteryear. So,
Okay.
yep, because I grew up down around Carbondale.
Right.
Interesting.
Are you going to put the crickets behind that?
No.
He put crickets behind me in one of the last episode.
He told some story.
You know
and it
what?
was just
You would
dead.
probably care if you were smoking a pipe instead of that cherry bomb.
I probably would.
Wow.
probably
That bus went right over you.
And backed up, too.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Beep, beep.
It's okay.
Crunch. That was Nick. Now, one of the things that I've noticed. Yes. Poor Nick. God love you.
It's okay. I'm staying back on this one.
I love ripping on you.
No, this is good.
But one of
I
the
don't
things
have
I've
to be-
noticed while sitting here talking and discussing things, I've had to relight a few times. And that's a little different than a cigar. Like, you can set a cigar down for a little bit, pick it up, and it'll keep going. And it's more of a process with a pipe. It's more it's more of a ritual kind of thing that I've noticed.
And I'll be honest, that's been part of the thing with me with pipes is it, and it's going to make me sound super lazy to say this, but it seems like so much work.
No, you're just wrong.
I will admit that that's probably the case.
No, I guess it is a little more work.
It
is.
It is different.
You have to be a little more thoughtful with it and pay a little more attention. But
It's an experience, though.
it is. It is. And I feel like there's so many more flavor profiles to choose from when it comes to the styles of tobacco. It just depends on what you're looking for. And
Now,
to me, that's worth it. I really enjoy the variety.
let me jump in there since you mentioned flavor profiles. How are the new FDA regulations that we've talked about on several of our podcasts going to affect the pipe tobaccos?
Yeah, like when states are talking about banning flavored tobaccos, like I'm assuming they're talking, a lot of times they talk cigars, they talk, cigarettes, they talk vapes and everything else. I assume this will also negatively impact pipes.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't actually know the answer to that question, and it's something new all the time, and then sometimes there's a retraction all of the time. So, honestly, I just hope for the best all the time, and that may seem needlessly optimistic, but these rules just keep changing on us. So I don't think there's any reason for us to shut down the pipe cabinets just yet.
Good deal.
Indeed.
So Nick, you're down to your last half, almost a third of your cigar there. What are you getting?
Same.
Same. Cherry and vanilla?
Cherry and vanilla, and
Chiclets and cantaloupe?
Chiclets and cantaloupe. Yeah, no, it's pretty one note throughout. So,
Tussin and tobacco.
yeah, it's not bad. I don't want to say that it's horrible or anything like that, but it's not. It's pretty far off of my normal section of radar here. I'm on the other end of the spectrum on this.
Now, I will say, I was just talking about how I've had to relight a couple of times. I was almost out, and it's almost like it hit a different level, and smoke is just rolling on this now, and I did not have to relight it this time.
Yeah.
So was that like a breakthrough in one of the levels that I created?
You just had it packed just right, that it just relit itself. Did you retamp it or anything?
No, I have not, but it's
Okay.
it's rolling
Well,
really well now.
Yeah, you've got it packed just right then.
I had a good teacher. Aww.
You've clearly done this once or twice before.
But never. I've never used a tamper. I've never. It's a very involved process, and I've been on the periphery of that. I've seen people smoke a pipe. I've smoked a pipe. I don't know what I'm doing. That I can say that most things in my life.
I was going to say that applies to most things in his life.
It does. It sadly does.
So Jodi, let's move on to cigars for a moment. So
Of course.
you obviously know your pipes, but also very knowledgeable about what's in the humidor at the Hill here. So,
Yes,
what's
I try
hitting
to
you?
be.
What's hitting you on the cigar side here lately?
Let's see. What have I been smoking a lot of lately?
Toscano.
Not as much lately.
You know what? I've actually been smoking Toscano lately. I got some of the ones that have that anise flavor to them, and I've really been enjoying that fire-cured tobacco for some reason. I don't know why.
I do not like black licorice,
No.
so I
I
can't.
do. I love it.
I
I'm with
can't be
her
a
on
part
that
of
one.
it. I can't be a part of that. Although I have no problem with those cigars. I like the chocolate ones. Guilty pleasure,
Yeah.
right there. And I like the fact they don't fall apart on you when you're out walking around, walking the dog in the rain.
Well, that and I can leave them in my Jeep for 3 years, pull one out, and still smoke
That's
it.
right. They're perfectly fine. Nope. I feel like I've had some stuff lately that's been really good. I mean, I always like Carrillo's, the Alencos blend, the Octomayor. I know, like, I have so many different cigars on my mind right now. It's hard for me to narrow them down. That's the problem. Azabache from CLE, really like that.
Never had that.
Oh,
Got to try it.
yeah, it's really good. It's got a little bit of pepper, some cocoa, and coffee notes to it. It's nice and complex.
I would
It's
like.
strong.
I would like the coffee.
Yeah, it's really good. The Viejos are in from Fuente. The 888 size is my favorite, and we only got one box this shipment, so I don't know if I'm going to get any of them, but I would really like to kind of grab one of those and see if I can scrape together enough pennies to justify that, but those are pretty good.
Have you had one of those, Nick?
I haven't. I don't.
That
I'm
sounds
not
like your
familiar
kind
with
of
what you're
cigar.
talking about. Yeah.
It's nice and full. Oh, they're very good, but only if you like things that are
I'm more
on
the
fuller side.
mild to medium smoker. Nick's more to the medium to bold.
Then you would like that, Nick.
But they're
Yeah.
running a little high.
No, they're really not bad. I mean, they run anywhere from 13 to 15.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, even for something that's relatively rare, they're not terribly
Yeah.
expensive.
Just hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, they're not released all the time. They come out once, maybe twice a year.
Now, what is the reason for that? Why is the manufacturer? Is it just to create a buzz?
Because the tobacco's not available all the time.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, because it takes so much time to age it. Yeah.
Now, Nick is familiar with that because he actually went to one of the barn smokers and got tours of the barns and the aging process, and I'm not as familiar with that. You want to jump in there, Nick?
I mean,
You spent the whole time in with the DJ, didn't you?
it was air conditioned in that tent. No, I mean, yeah.
Cats and boots and cats and boots
Well, I mean,
and
that was
cats
the
and
Drew
cats and
Estate
cats.
thing down in Kentucky. I mean, we talked about just the growing and the fire curing and everything like that. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the same concept here.
I find it very very odd that they had that juxtaposed to the rave tent going on at the same time. It's a very interesting.
It's Drew Estate.
It's Drew
Yeah.
Estate.
I was gonna say,
Everything needs a rave tent.
She's nailing it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
Drew
surprised
it's
that
Drew
we don't
Estate.
have to
They
have
had-
one next to our Drew Estate shelf.
We could do
You
that.
probably need a couple more rows on the shelf, and then that's when the clause kicks in on the contract.
Yeah.
True.
You're just not buying enough Drew Estate at this point to have
That's a good point.
to have the rave tent.
You could have
Although
We
I-
do have the water tower.
little searchlights
yes,
going.
You do have the
and-
water tower.
yeah.
That's true. Now,
Those
if you get
water
too
towers are
much,
cool.
that's when you have to swap out your glasses for like specialized goggles, and all wear tracksuits.
Dirty Fabian is no longer with Drew Estate.
I'm sure he turned in his tracksuit. Somebody else is going to be wearing it.
That's true.
So,
It probably still smells like him.
dirty.
Fabian. we have been ripping on those goggles and his tracksuit
I'll tell you,
ever since he went to the barn.
I like some of the Drew Estate product. I can respect, the guys that have put in the time and effort and energy into building this brand. But man, it's just kind of goofy in my
I really like a lot of the Drew Estate stuff. Do not misunderstand.
Hey,
me.
I like
but-
smoking it. Yeah.
So
Hey,
the other
but
cigar,
I understand that this is all sales. I mean,
yeah.
I totally get that Drew Estate,
mean,
or just Jonathan Drew himself is just a really
He's a showman.
Yeah, but Jonathan, I say that like we're like we're pals, right? No, I mean it's sales, and he's built a brand around this persona.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't need that. You know, I'm good without that. Like, just make these really good cigars, and you don't. And I would really rather know the guy that has that really amazing art collection versus the douchebag that he pretends to be in public.
So you're saying he's not really?
I don't want to believe that he is this person all the time. I
Yeah.
just don't. It would be exhausting to
But
be that person.
I
all
will
the time.
admit, and Nick found this to be true when he met him and was down at the Barn Smoker. He's a cult of personality.
He
Oh,
is.
totally.
Oh my God,
People
yes.
he's a magnet.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
truly.
I went to that Barn Smoker, I mean, he had straight up Drew Estate groupies there.
Oh, my God, yes.
That recognized everybody. Like, I mean, they saw him and they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's Drew, and oh my gosh, there's Fabian, and there's this and there's that," and I don't know who these people. I mean, I've heard of them,
Yeah.
but for me to walk up and bump into them, I'm not going to know. Oh, hey, that was Fabian, or that was whatever. So.
Exactly.
It was interesting to see.
Yeah.
Now, I would be remiss if we at least don't mention Cory Frisbee at some point. Do you have any good Cory stories for us?
What? How come he comes right on the heels of talking about Drew Estates and the
Yeah.
I'm trying to reroute.
Trying to read.
yeah, but that was a hard left there, man. There was, I
You
mean,
want me to do that again?
people are flying around the car, just going out the windows on that turn.
Oh my God.
That was bizarre. But okay, we'll run
Well,
with this.
Cory
So,
also is a very distinct personality in the cigar industry.
He is. He's a very distinct
yeah,
personality.
about 180 degrees from Drew, Jonathan Drew, but
Cory is a very good salesperson as well. He is. He can really read people's personality.
Oh, yeah.
He's very intelligent, and he is very good at pretending to not be around people that may be intimidated by him.
That's interesting to know.
I will say this: he also is the kind of personality that
But very likable.
Oh,
will,
absolutely.
Will not back down from the ignorance, which is why I'm desperately trying to get the two of them together, because Cory and I have had talks about how we need to see how far Jeff is willing to go with his ignorance, because I think Cory can get him to back down.
Have you ever seen me hit the wall?
I think I can. I think Cory can force you to the wall.
Okay. It's a personal challenge.
He and I have talked. I'm trying to set this up because I think this could be just like
Well,
a straight up WrestleMania of ignorance here. It's the two of you.
I will say this, and Nick knows, there have been more than one cigar shop that we've walked into, and we can tell if Cory has his stamp on that cigar shop by the brands that we find in the store. And
I believe that.
to a person, every time we've said, "Oh, you must know Cory Frisbee," and they're like, "Oh my God, yeah, we know Cory." And then it's 20 minutes at the register talking about Cory. Am I lying, Nick?
Nah, not at all.
He's a great guy.
He is.
So, anything you would want to leave us with about the Hill or a little bit about the cigar store here? And we talk about it all the time on the podcast. It's our home cigar lounge. We love the place. And you guys have been nice enough to let us come here and broadcast, from the facility.
It's the least we can do. I mean, you guys clean up after yourselves? I mean, what else?
Well,
what else do we need?
I mean, Nick's a savage. But
What are you talking about? Clean up.
No, I mean, everybody's welcome. It's everybody's home.
what seating capacity and stuff? Like, how many folks can you accommodate comfortably here at the lounge?
About 20 to 25.
Yeah.
Depends on whether everybody wants their feet up or not.
Yep. Yeah, because I can see that. With
Yeah, that's important to know how many people really want to use an ottoman.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
do private parties and all that
We
kind of stuff.
do, yeah. We do private parties. We prefer not to close down the lounge. So
Yeah.
if you're bringing in a crowd of 10 people, give us a call. You can come hang out with everybody, but just let us know you're coming in.
Yeah.
That's all we really, really want to know. Make
Well,
sure we have enough people on staff.
One of the things I love about the place is when you have events, you usually have food along with them.
We do.
You've got coffee, tea, and we were here last week, and a gentleman brought in pizza for everybody. I mean, it's basically like a clubhouse, for the people that come here. And I love that atmosphere. And we've gone to other cigar lounges. I'm not going to lie. I don't mean to say we've been stepping out on you or anything like that. But we've gone to them, and it just doesn't have the same feel.
Well, every shop has its own culture.
Yeah.
It really does. It's not like this is the only shop I've ever been to. And this isn't the only shop I've worked at. This is the second shop I've worked at here in St. Louis. And, I've hung out in a lot of places, but there's only so much that the staff can do to influence the culture in a shop. A lot of it really does reside in the hands of the people who hang out there. But that's what I really like about the people who are here, is that, the people who spend time in our shop, they're welcoming.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that everybody feels welcome, and for the most part, everybody plays nice, and that's important to me.
We come in and we'll talk to judges and police, retired and current active duty police here in and around St. Louis. And then, you will have some retired guys from McDonnell Douglas. And there are so many stories and so many things you hear. And then you have 22-year-old kids that are going to school, going to college here in St. Louis that come in. And everybody seems to fit in. And, I've never seen anybody feel excluded here.
Right. And they're talking right next, or talking to the construction guys sitting right next to them.
Yep.
I mean, nobody feels intimidated by anybody. At least I certainly hope they don't.
I've never seen that here.
No.
Doesn't seem like it.
No, because everybody's got at least one thing in common when they walk in the door. Everybody's here to smoke cigars and hang out.
And Nick and I have said before, it's the great equalizer.
It is. It should be.
It crosses racial boundaries. It crosses age boundaries, socioeconomic boundaries. People that like cigars love cigars, and it opens you up to meet all of these diverse people.
Exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and let Jodi get back to work.
Yeah.
Because she's actually working right now.
Believe it, more or less.
Hey, this is, you're doing marketing.
And we want to thank Larry
Yes.
for covering the counter and covering the shop to allow Jodi time to come out.
My coworker is the best. Thank you, Larry. You are a godsend.
He rocks.
Yes.
He
He
really
does.
does.
Yes.
But this has been very, especially for me with the pipe. I mean, Nick's lost. He's a lost ball in tall weeds. But I, on the other hand, have
I don't
really
think you're lost cause.
enjoyed
I can
this.
still talk you into it.
Okay.
You got to try
I'm
pipe.
sure.
It's a whole different experience, and I think you'll really like it.
All right.
$20, corncob pipe, an ounce of tobacco, a tamper, and some pipe cleaners. I'll get you started. I'll even pack your first bowl for you if you're intimidated.
Look at there.
Yeah, I do this for everybody. Anybody who wants me to, I should say.
That's awesome.
And then I'll get you going.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we will look into that.
That's right.
So.
You know where I am every
I know
Friday
where
and
you
Saturday.
are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jodi, you rock.
When you live above the place, for God's sakes, too.
Don't tell people that.
They'll be banging on the door at night wanting
That's
cigars.
right. They don't know which apartment, though.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Of
This
course.
has been great.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Jodi.
lot, guys. I appreciate
We got to do it again.
That's the threat.
Yep, there you go.
That's the threat.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
See ya.
This has
Thank
been
you.
awesome. So, Nick, I didn't bring this up while, we had Jodi in here with us.
Uh-huh.
You have a black eye.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a little bit of an accident.
Do you want to... how does the other guy look is what I want to know.
The other guy was a toilet seat, so it's looking pretty good.
Were you violently throwing up and hit your head on the toilet?
No.
Well,
So,
can you explain to our listeners how
Okay.
you got the black eye? Because I know the story and I love it so much.
So I had to replace a toilet seat in my house. And I was on the floor of my bathroom. And there was some stuff in the room. That should have been probably taken out of the room, but wasn't. And so I was trying to get around to the socket on the bottom bolt of the toilet, underneath the toilet, to get the seat off. And I was laying on my back, and I had my head kind of, next to the basin, next to the toilet, and then my legs were kind of up and draped over the edge of the tub. All right, so I'm unscrewing the socket, and I had the box with the new toilet seat on the basin above me, okay?
Okay.
So my wife comes into the room, and
Bless her heart.
she decides that she's going to help me. by unboxing the new toilet seat. And I swear to God, I don't think it was... I think she basically reached for it and accidentally pushed it off the edge of the basin, causing the box with the new toilet seat to tumble off. I watched it because I was looking straight up as I was on my back, flat on my back, unscrewing the socket. So I watched this thing come off the edge, turn in midair to where the edge of the box, which was probably about, I don't know, what would you say that is? About inch and a half,
2, 3,
2 inches or so, wide. About a 2-inch wide edge of this box just comes straight down,
hurling itself at you.
Proceed to just assault me right in the eye, cheek, and mouth.
In the face.
And it hit my glasses and bent the hell out of those. And it hurt like a mother. Wow. Just hurt so bad, dude. And I said...
And bless Laura's heart. She was trying to help you.
And she was upset. And I said some things that I should not have said. And I apologized.
Was there expletives?
There was very loud, repeated expletives, along with crying and laughing. It was one of those times where I hurt myself so bad I was laughing about it. You ever had that where you've hurt yourself so badly you can't help but laugh?
The story I've told you about me falling out the back of the truck, yes.
Yeah. So at this point I'm laying flat on my back, and I mean it's just sheer panic everywhere. And so we did end up getting the toilet seat replaced. My cheek since then, yesterday it was more swollen and more red. Today it is less swollen, still very sore and red. But today is when the very small bit of black eye has started to develop on the on my right eye. And thankfully, it did hit my tooth pretty hard, and I was worried that I actually had damaged my teeth, but that I have not experienced any problems. The
question I have, was it an accident? Or did Laura just see an opportunity to take you out?
I mean, maybe. Maybe.
You may want to document.
Oh, there's pictures. There's pictures.
I'm just saying, Laura, I love you. I love you to death. But, let's be honest.
God.
So, it could really go either way.
So that's what happened to me the other night was I had a toilet seat replacement related injury.
Fair enough.
It was harsh. And what makes it was one of those toilet seats where it's got like that third ring that like
good and heavy.
It was that second seat that's like smaller that settles into the main seat because we have a 3.5-year-old who's potty training.
Yep.
And so I don't want him falling in and getting traumatized and being
so that extra little bit of weight.
So there was just that extra little bit of weight in the box that normally would not have been in the box. Along with, I mean, it was a perfect storm.
Do you think you got a concussion?
Can you get a concussion getting hit in the cheek?
I think a head injury can give you a concussion. It depends how bad your brain got sloshed.
But it didn't hit my actual cranium, top of my head. It just hit the cheek.
It hit your eye. I mean, the brain is behind there.
I mean, maybe.
I'm just, I'm concerned about you.
I haven't. No.
Because the last thing we want is you laid up where we can't be doing 2 of these a week.
Such a dick.
You're such a dick. All of a sudden, it's the Gator show instead of the Cigar Pulp.
Nah, you've got Jen, though.
That's true. I've
true.
got Jen on Fridays.
I was going to say, so.
So speaking of that, remind everybody about our new segment that we're adding.
So, every Friday, we're going to have Friday Whiskey with...
Is that Canadian?
I guess.
Okay.
It's the whiskey. Yeah, but we're going to have Curious Jen on to talk about whiskey and spirits and all that, and we have been soliciting whiskey recommendations.
Have you gotten any yet?
I have gotten quite a few, actually. Wow. We have been soliciting whiskey recommendations from all of you listeners to tell me what whiskey you think I should start my whiskey journey on. Jen is insisting that I take a whiskey journey and start drinking, and so she's asking all of you for your recommendations of where do you think I should start. And like I said, we've gotten quite a few recommendations, but go on to our Instagram, which would be at the Cigar Pulpit, and our Facebook, our Twitter. We have YouTube available as well, and we also have an email that you can send this stuff to. It's nick@cigarpulpit.com. Send me your whiskey recommendations and any other comments, questions, suggestions, hate mail, whatever, and we'll add those to the list.
We would also be remiss if we didn't mention that we will be smoking another cigar from the mymonthlycigar.com box.
We will be smoking another selection from the November My Monthly Cigars box on Friday's episode. We will then probably move into the December box. Now, technically, if you've been keeping track, we have 2 cigars left out of the November My Monthly Cigars box, but one of them happens to be the Perdomo Champagne Sun-Grown.
Yeah.
And so Jeff and I have already smoked the Perdomo Champagne on the show before. And so we were kind of thinking about it, and we're like, do we do this one? Do we not do this one? And what we've kind of compromised in deciding is that we are going to hold off on that cigar until our New Year's episode, since it's champagne.
Exactly.
You know, we're bringing in the new year with some champagne.
There you go.
So,
and maybe champagne as well.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Never know.
Or whiskey.
Or whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean,
more likely whiskey.
probably. But so we're going to be doing that. And speaking of My Monthly Cigars, we have partnered with My Monthly Cigars. We are doing a care package through them. So if you go on mymonthlycigars.com and you sign up for the Robusto box, it's a 4-cigar box for $30. It's a subscription box. It'll come to your door every month. If you go and sign up for that, the 4 cigars in that box, we will be smoking on the show for the corresponding month of that box. So like
Absolutely.
for the December box, throughout December, we'll be smoking those 4 cigars in 4 episodes on the show. So if you go to mymonthlycigars.com, you sign up for that, you put in offer code PULPIT, PULPIT, that gets you free shipping on the box, or it gets you 20% off your purchase in the store, because they do have some other items available in the store.
And at that point, what we want to always encourage everybody to do, since we are broadcasting here at the Hill Cigar Company, is if you find a stick you like, go to your brick and mortar and see if they have it. If they don't, ask them to get it in. If it's a cigar that you really liked and you're going to be smoking, and they can take care of you. We really want to always tell everybody, shop brick and mortar. These guys need your support more now than ever. They really do.
Precisely. It's a good opportunity for you to try some cigars you may not normally try or may not have had the opportunity to try, and now you can try it, see if you like it, and if you do, go to your brick and mortars and tell them about it.
And you know, we're here at the Hill right now. I want to give a shout out to another cigar store here in St. Louis that we ran into and bought a few cigars at earlier this week, and it's actually the Riverman Cigar Company. It's down on Watson Road in South St. Louis. There's also Stanley's here in town. There's Yuli's that I've been to
That's in Milwaukee.
Up in Milwaukee, but people are listening to this all over the country.
That's true, but I didn't know why you were like going through
I'm mentioning some of the brick and mortars because I want to show I want to show our support for them.
I see.
And so you've got Yuli's.
And then there's Lit.
Up in Milwaukee.
The Lit Cigar Lounge out in Chesterfield.
Absolutely.
That was very nice to invite us out there and show us around and everything.
And we mentioned this earlier on the podcast, but you've got the Yesteryear Tobogganist down in Tobacconist.
I was a tobogganist.
Yeah, it's like toboggans, yeah.
He's going to the Dominican bobsled team, Jamaican bobsled team. That's it.
But the Yesteryear Tobacconist, excuse me. Thanks, Nick, for not giving me a pass on that.
Oh, I'm not giving you a pass.
You go down to Paducah, you've got the Cigar Barn. You go out to Kansas City, and you've got Diebels out there. You've got the Weston Cigar Company, that Cory bases out of up north of Kansas City there. So there are a lot of these really nice brick and mortar stores that can accommodate your needs.
Exactly.
It's been a sermon.
It has been a sermon, which, by the way, if any companies, manufacturers, accessory manufacturers, or anybody else is interested in being a part of the sermon, we are looking for sponsorships, and we do offer advertising opportunities.
Let me just say this. We are filling the pews.
We are
might
filling.
want to get on board.
I was going to say, the numbers continue to tick upward, and we are offering some opportunities for said manufacturers and various other companies to get in on board and promote their items.
And we could not be more grateful to our listeners for that. Thank you so much.
And that's the thing. It's been a very humbling ride since the beginning of the show, and it continues to grow and grow and grow, and we appreciate all that, and we are looking for some support in order to be able to continue this ride and keep it going and hopefully expand it out even more.
Amen. So, we have some ideas, folks.
We do have some ideas. But we are going to need some support for that. So
and
we are looking for sponsors.
In turn, we can put you in direct contact with people interested in the product.
That's the beauty of what we're offering here for anyone looking to sponsor or advertise on our product, is that, 100% of the people listening to this show are interested in what you have to offer. So it's a good way to hit a very interested audience.
A very niche audience,
Very interested niche audience.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Well, it's been
reach
a
out.
sermon, man. I've loved this.
This has been good.
Jodi was great.
Great.
And she is good people.
We really want to thank Jodi, and we really want to thank the Hill Cigar Company for allowing Jodi to come on here and take some time to talk to us about pipe tobacco. It was enlightening to me because, like I said,
it taught me a lot about something I have very little knowledge in.
And me no knowledge in. So this was good. So this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. That's been Gator. And we've had a great evening. Stay smoky, everyone.